Are we live?
It says we're live.
We are live. Hi, everyone. Let us know if you can hear us or if you can see us, hear us.
There's no viewers yet.
There's no viewers.
0.
I left my list of stuff to talk about.
Really?
Yeah, there's 0 viewers yet. So I guess we could give an update what we've been doing.
I guess we can, because people can come back and watch this later on.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a viewer.
Hey.
We can't see who it is, though, can we?
This is a new setup for us. So we are. Oh, it's Melaka. Are you on?
No, I'm not.
No?
Viewers.
Okay, I don't know that.
Sure. It can't be you on there.
No, it shouldn't be me. It's somebody else. I don't know who it is, but
And is Jaden watching?
it's
Logged
possible.
in from Jacob's laptop. It shows that you're live.
We decided to go live because we just wanted to visit with y'all and give you an update where we're at, what we're doing, what we're working on.
What we've been working on.
Yeah, what we've been working on. The last week we've been here in the hayfield putting up hay, and we still got about 2 acres
Yep.
to put up. Yeah.
So we decided to square bale over round bale because square bales sell better than round bales.
Yep.
You can make more money, but it's probably 25 times more work than round bales. So that was kind of the decision that we made. We have smaller animals, so square bales are a lot easier for us and less waste. So I decided to go with that. We are outside. It is a little bit windy. So if you are hearing some wind involvement, we're sorry about that. We kind of can't help it tonight. So
You can, if you have a question, you can comment, leave us a comment, and we have a way, this is a new setup for us, but we do have a way to feature your questions and answer those. So just comment, let us know where you're watching from tonight. Just in case you're new to the channel, we are Dan and Mel Lockeff, and we live in the Missouri Ozarks. We live on a 61-acre farm. And we just bought this farm. It was abandoned. We bought it in October. So we are in the process of cleaning it up and fixing it up. And we've been putting up hay the whole last week. How many bales did we put
we're
up?
about 2,300 bales cut so far. We've sold 400.
Square bales.
Hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Tammy.
So this is an open question forum for anyone that has any questions for us. If there's anything you'd like to know, we'll start talking a little bit about, kind of fill in a little bit to get some people, viewing or get some questions started here.
Yeah, and we've got Chuck with us tonight. He decided to come and hang out with us.
So are we still living in the garage? So when we moved into this place, most people have seen the earlier videos. There was a house here already, and that house is in a little bit of rough shape. So we decided early on to not live in the house, but to extend onto an existing garage that was here. And so we had extended on 24 foot. We call it the garage. We found out from some friends they literally thought we lived in a garage too, but it's literally been converted into a house. So it's about a 400 square foot house now. It's got kitchen, 1.5 baths, 2 bedrooms, living room, dining room, ceiling fans and lights, and running water. We still have an outhouse inside.
Yeah, I think they thought that we lived in less than stellar conditions, and we live in a pretty nice little garage house.
So our kids run around and tell everyone we're living in the garage. That's what we call it as a family. In the garage. We say in the house, it's up to the house. But hi, Linda. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Linda.
And Hi, Mary. Thanks, and Anne. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, Jackie has a question. Are you going to be working on the house?
Yes, we will be working on the house. With the pricing of lumber right now and just materials in general, we've kind of, in time, we really don't have the time right now to go through it. So we just kind of set it to the side a little bit right now. We do have fridges and freezers and stuff in there and some storage. It's really not, it's not terrible, but we'd rather redo it before we move in rather than after we move in.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess right now.
We figured, estimated that we would probably have close to $60,000 to $80,000 to rebuild that house.
Jackie says the wind is really bad, hard to hear. Maybe we should move into the truck.
We can move into the truck. Let's do that quick. So hang on 1 second. Bear with us.
You want to take the laptop and I'll take Chuck?
I will take the laptop.
All right.
So I will take you on an adventure. I'll give you a shot of we had 2,300 hay bales down in this field here just recently. Oh, hopefully I did not just disconnect. I don't think I lost them. They still show live, but your phone. There, you take that and plug your phone back in. Where's the dog?
He's out there. He's okay. I wouldn't turn it on. Roll all the windows down. All right. How's that? Is that better sound? Let us know.
Can you put it right here in the middle?
Let's see. I'm going to hide this comment.
Okay. Where are you going? That doesn't work.
I'm just going to hold it there.
But that doesn't.
We are improvising. Okay. Anne has a question. Where did it go? What's Chuck been up to today? Chuck. Well.
We got to get out of that.
It's fine.
But you can't change it.
There you go.
Okay, there's a little bit.
You want to tell them what Chuck's been up to today?
So
Chuck's been a very bad dog, Anne.
Okay, so, but yeah, Chuck has been. He was good at first for us. Didn't have any problems with him with any of the animals, but he's recently started chasing the chickens. And he's not necessarily killing the chickens, although we did lose one, but we haven't found it. So it's possible that he heard it and something else got it and drug it off.
We have a family of kings that live on the property.
Well, when we have foxes and coyotes and all sorts of things. So and hawks and we got golden eagles that live around here. So, but we've lost one chicken and we have 3 other chickens that are injured now from him. So he's not killing them, but he's playing with them, but hurting them. So we are working with him currently to try and break him of the of chasing after the chickens and hurting the chickens.
And not Chuck. Oh yes, Chuck.
So it's kind of a daily thing. We're trying a couple different techniques to kind of get him to stop messing with the chickens. So
I'm gonna put your thing down. That helps a little. Okay. We were talking about the house out there, though.
Yeah.
We were telling them a little bit more about the house.
Yeah. So the house, we decided that we would, because of the cost of what we had to do, we'd have to replace the floors. We'd have to do some foundation work, some roof work, as well as, drywall and things like that inside. Right now, there's a family of groundhogs living underneath it in the crawl space that we've been trying to eradicate. So, but...
Well, eject, I would say.
Well, that's...
trying to get them out of there.
Eradicate is, I think, the same meaning, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of.
I might have to roll up a window here. Because we're still getting some. I'll roll up my window.
I think our current plan is we're kind of waiting on lumber prices to lower. Hopefully they do. They're starting to. And our hope is that we can start demoing and see what exactly we're facing with the house, because it could be a lot more than we're thinking. And so, and to also get a roof on it, because the roof is really bad. The roof really needs fixed before anything else, because if we don't fix the leaks, we're going to have...
Yeah, the shingles are virtually gone in it. There was a couple leaks. I've got them kind of sealed up temporarily, but they're not necessarily fixed per se. So if you guys are still hearing the wind, let us know. We may have to just close all the windows, maybe. But yeah, with the cost of, it was cheaper for us to build onto the garage, which when we get the house finished, it will give us a bigger garage. We'll have a nice, 2-car garage with a small apartment in it for any family or friends that come to stay.
Yeah.
So, that'll help us out there. So it was something that we wanted anyway. So it works.
Anne says, could you do a metal roof? We looked into that for my mom's house. We could do a metal roof, and we've actually been talking about...
We can do a metal.
Possibility.
We can do it. It wouldn't be a problem at all. But there are dormers on the house, and there's 4 of them. And there's some intricate angles that could be a little iffy with metal and could possibly have leaks in the future. So, it's kind of, we're still on the fence because metal prices have come up. There's kind of a shortage. So, shingles are still fairly reasonably priced. So we're not 100% sure with that yet. We may change the roof layout of the house. We may make the dormers bigger. We may change the 2 into a single dormer and go a bigger dormer. So we're not quite sure yet what we're going to do.
Linda wants to know more about the house. How many rooms does it have? Let's see.
It's 20. What is it? I think it was 3,400 square foot, I think, with the second story.
Yeah, it's got the
3,600 square foot with the second story.
It's got 2 rooms upstairs with 3 closets. And then they're kind of the stairs walk up into the first room. Then downstairs it has the laundry and bath, and then a whole living area with the stairs.
It's got 2 bathrooms, a laundry room,
a bedroom, and the kitchen area with like a pantry type area.
So it'd literally be kind of a large 4-bedroom house.
Yeah, but 3-bedroom.
I mean, that one would be considered a bedroom, probably.
Yeah.
So, but the 1 bedroom downstairs is big enough to be 2 good-sized bedrooms too.
Yeah,
it's a pretty large bedroom.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I think it's right around altogether. It's like 3,600 feet. So it's a pretty good sized house. Give us plenty of room for the boys and us, and an office and room for the boys to move around as well. So
we'd kind of like to take it back to its original state, but we're still kind of figuring that out because the wraparound porch is new, and there's steps that used to go up to the door where the little pantry is now. And that pantry is built over those steps. So Linda's asking, let me hide. Linda wants to know when the house was built.
The house was started in 1917. It took them 2 years to build the house. They moved into it in 1919. The house was built they milled the lumber right off the land. So it's built out of oak. So it will, but yeah, it's a little over 100 years old.
You want to tell them about Les's paper?
Yeah. Our some friends of ours, or family friends, they bought the house back in the early 70s, and they sold it in the mid 2000. I think it was 2004, 2005.
So
They retired. They had a dairy here all those years. It was a dairy before that as well. And so they decided that it was time to retire. They wanted to move closer to their children, and they sold the farm to a guy that raised horses. But when they bought the farm back in the 70s, the original, not the very first owners, but the second owners of it that bought it from the original, the guy that applied for the land grant from the government, they still had the original papers from 1861.
Linda, you're going to love this.
That was signed by Abraham Lincoln. When he, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't his actual signature. It was printed, but it has his name and stuff on it of where they granted them it was 80 acres to start with, 80 acres of land during the land rush, or I guess, I don't know if it was a land rush or not in 1861, but so this property was purchased in 1861. And then shortly after that, I think probably 15, 20 years later, the family bought it in the late 1800s that owned it up until the 70s. But it's pretty cool.
Hi, Kelly. Kelly wants to know, will you make a room into your studio?
Are we missing any other comments though before we go to that one?
I don't think so. I've been kind of,
I don't want to miss anyone. It's moving fast.
Yeah. Kelly, as for the studio, we've talked about it with the garage when we move into the house. We also talked about it with the hay barn because the view is incredible at the hay barn. And the lighting is amazing for food photos. But
and we have better cell phone coverage up here too.
Yes, we have better cell signal. We're in the hayfield right now. We have really good cell signal. So I don't know if we will or not. I really like working in my own kitchen when I'm working. For those of you that don't, that are new to the channel, I also am a food blogger, so I create recipes. But I don't know. I really like being in my own kitchen, and I don't know if I see myself outfitting another whole second kitchen just for a studio. So I don't know. It's a good question.
We could let the kids live in the garage and just come up here and live.
There are days when I would like my own studio with the kids. Let's see. We have, she's also asking, will you get horses? That is another good question.
Maybe eventually. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, with only 60 acres right now, it's not something that is big enough that I feel to warrant having horses. If they're, if we had them just as pets, it would be okay. Yeah. But I would rather have a horse to be a working horse to work with cattle, work with sheep, and animals like that. And with only 60 acres, I don't know that it would be beneficial to the health of the horse. It'd be more of just an occasional ride, because I wouldn't want to take all the time to put a saddle on when I could just jump on a four-wheeler or in the truck and drive out to where I need to be. But as we expand and buy more land, it's very possible. But I'd probably go with a donkey over a horse. Yeah. So I like donkeys.
We're interested. We really want to get a few more cows. Jacob wants to have a lot of cows, but he would probably lease land. And we want to get sheep. We really want to learn more and try our hand at regenerative grazing. So that's kind of the direction that we're headed with the farm. But we're still learning about it, so there's no way that I could teach you about it. But we're learning, aren't we?
We are.
We're learning about it. We're at the very start of it right now with our 3 calves that we have.
Very start.
Very start. The very start of
We're
it.
We're like babies.
Yes.
Newborn babies of intensive grazing.
It's a whole different way of farming from what I grew up with and from what Dan grew up with. So it's a whole different mindset. Let's see. Linda asks, what is regenerative grazing?
In a In a brief explanation, it's basically using the animals and different techniques with the animals to fertilize the land, to basically control the grass. The goal with regenerative grazing is to build the soil structure and to build up the soil to where, there's lots of studies that have been done that, that prove that, if the soil is correct, the soil's where it needs to be, that a lot of invasive weeds will just die out because they can't thrive. As well as grass will grow better, bugs, beneficial insects will come in, the non-beneficial insects will disappear. So you're using the animals to correct the soil. It can take 5-10 years, but the people that have been doing this for a long time, their grasses are extremely healthy. Their insect population is just amazing, and it's good insects, and most of their bad insects are very far and few between. So, and they're not putting commercial fertilizers on it, they're fertilized. So, they just kind of confine the animals to smaller sections, but
they
move
them around.
So, if you have a 20-acre field, you might have half acre, you might fence off a half acre at a time every day and have, 50 cows that eat that grass, trample it, and chew on it. Their saliva works into the grass as well as beneficial. And then the next day you make another paddock that's a little bit farther away, and you just keep sectioning it off. So they have fresh ground every day, sometimes, multiple times a day if you have enough cattle. So there's ways to do it quicker, ways to do it slower. But that's pretty much it. It's kind of, in a way, what most people consider, or kind of organic farming. In a way, it's a little bit better than organic farming because you're not using any outside, even natural pesticides. So you're correcting a problem and solving problems at the same time.
Kelly wants to know, will you try to have beehives? I'm going to say yes.
Well, that's we already have one.
Well,
we have a wild beehive.
But I think she means.
But yes, we will.
Yes.
We're going to try. We found this summer when our tree started blooming, there's just thousands upon thousands of bees up in these trees, and they were just going all over. There's some neighbors around 6 miles that have beehives, but these bees were staying too close. And I was just one day mowing the grass, and one of the trees on the outside of our property has a hollow spot in it. And as I was mowing by, I had bees start swarming me, and I realized they were honeybees. So there's actually a mass inside this tree of honeybees. And so they're already here naturally, which is kind of nice. So we'll probably put up a couple hives and maybe buy some queens. And once we buy queens, some of those out of that, natural hive, and start populating these hives.
It would make a lot of sense for us to do beehives with the pastures, with the Jacob's garden. And Jacob's going to the market so he could sell honey. It just makes complete sense for us to eventually add that to the farm.
Yeah, it'll be another income opportunity as well. And as well as, very beneficial. Bees are extremely beneficial. So especially with, Jacob's garden.
Yeah, we eventually want to grow more flowers as well as vegetables. So they'll be very.
And our trees, our orchards.
Too. Yeah, our orchard.
So,
it will be great for our apple orchard, Kelly. Let's see, what else were we gonna talk about? We had the house, the animals, what we've been up to. We have in the next couple weeks. Well, we've got to get the hay finished, but we're supposed to get another spurt of rain here for another week. So we're kind of waiting on that. But we have this plan to extend our yard down, to take some of the fence out and extend it down past. We have a spring near the chicken coop And we'd like to extend it past that so the animals that we have aren't getting into that spring. And so we may be working on that a little bit.
And I did have some more ideas around that too.
Yeah,
that I was thinking about earlier today when I was out there. But
the kid, go ahead.
I'll tell you about that later.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can't leave them hanging. The kids really want me and the kids, both of all the kids and I. We want to make like the spring is really pretty with the trees, so we're gonna kind of build like a little fairyland, like a little miniature fairyland. There's a stump there. We can put a little hobbit door and I don't know. We're just gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's gonna be our fun side project.
No, I'm trying to get some sun off of you.
I'm okay.
Well, it's bright on the screen.
Yeah, it's bright. Jackie asks, did you get all the plastic cleaned up in your pasture, and where did that come from? We haven't got, we're still finding it here and there. It was plastic bale wrap, and we think the guy just left bales sitting, and the cows ate the hay, and the plastic was left behind. Sometimes the cows ate the plastic because, okay, that's even worse. I'll put that back up there. You are messing with stuff.
There.
Sometimes the cows ate the plastic, and you'll find rib cages full of partially digested plastic from the cows that died. But we have cleaned most of it up, but not all of it. We still keep finding it here and there.
Yeah, I had found a satellite picture from about a year before we bought it, and it was after it looked like someone had already mowed this hayfield up here, and you could see all these like lighter spots in the field, and I counted like 85, 86, 87 of them, and I thought maybe they were just like, because we got a lot of rocks here and a lot of little rock outcroppings. I thought maybe they were rock outcroppings, but as I started realizing that the places that we were digging up this plastic, this was, you could actually see the plastic from the satellite photos embedded in the grass. So it was, where the grass wasn't growing, it was lighter. So there was a ton of it.
People from what we've been told and what we've deduced from what we've cleaned up, it looks like they just locked their cows in the pasture, or sometimes they were in the yard, because there was bones all over the yard, in the barns, under the porch. Like they were trying to get anywhere that they could to get food, and they couldn't. They were starving.
I think that some, from what I've heard from neighbors, I think it was while they lived here too. I don't think they were feeding their cows. There was nothing. I don't think there was any grass, because the cows have ate it all and they baled it all trying to make money. And that it was during the time that they lived here too, because there was neighbors complaining about, that cattle looking hungry. And
I think they even had the sheriff come out.
I think they had the sheriff come out, and there wasn't nothing that the sheriff could do because they had food. Technically, grass is food to a cow, and if they have grass, they have food. Doesn't necessarily mean the cows are going to eat it. If it's, if it doesn't taste good, they'll eat anything if it doesn't taste good, if they're hungry. Yeah. But I think by that point they probably already had too much plastic in them to even digest the grass. So it was just, it was like they had a blockage in their stomach and just literally. There's so many skeletons in the woods. It's like the poor things just crawled into the woods and just laid down and died.
There was one, she looked like she laid over the fence and died, trying to get.
And she was reaching through the fence trying to maybe eat, grass on the other side, and she just kind of laid down and died.
I cleaned up as many bones as I could out of the yard, because I didn't want that reminder. And then we cleaned up as many as we could out of what barns we've cleaned out so far. We still have a few to clean out, but there's not as many bones in we have what we call the calf barn, but what's the other? The white barn has quite a few in it. Has quite a few.
That's what I call the calf barn.
Oh, really?
Because
I
that has the
calf barn.
That has the calf stalls in it.
Oh yeah, it does have the calf stalls.
That's where they raised their calves. They originally that was the original milk barn of the place.
I guess we call it the lambing barn too, because we're planning on using it for lambing maybe.
Yeah, right now we have our calves in the one here by the house.
Yeah.
But we'll probably use it for lambing. So, but the driveway part, in case anyone's sitting there like, is he going to talk about the driveway again? But I was thinking, right now our driveway is probably only about 10, 12 foot wide, and the fence is, pretty tight to the driveway, and it's overgrown, but
it's very rough too.
Yeah, it's very rough.
But the poor UPS driver.
We have all those mature trees there, and it's annoying to have fence and trees because you got to constantly keep the trees off the fence. And then, things grow up around the trees grow around the fence. It's just kind of a nightmare. But that spring is our driveway kind of goes down at a slight angle on our property, and a spring is kind of directly down below our driveway, but the driveway kind of cuts to the left around the spring. I thought about taking the fences on each side and kind of going out another 10 feet on each side beyond the trees to where there's no trees. And then we can just, keep, like, you'll come up a driveway lane that's like, 25, 30 foot wide and have trees in it with, grass around it. It'd kind of be neat. It would give us the ability to bring up wider equipment as well. We wouldn't hit the trees, but
yeah, that would not be bad for trailers and things like that.
We could slope the dirt as much as we can around the trees without killing them. And
would we still be able to have I guess we wouldn't be into the spring.
We wouldn't. We'd be around. Our fence would go straight down around the spring.
Yeah.
It'd solve that big problem down at the end where the fence has to go all around. So
that's a thought.
It is a thought. It'd make our pasture a little smaller on each side.
Yeah, but not by that much.
But it'd also solve a problem.
Yeah.
A couple problems, actually.
Yeah. Right now, our driveway, when it rains, it will become like a little stream. We have the spring leaks into the driveway about halfway down it, and it just flows down the driveway.
Oh, there's multiple springs on that side of the hill. So there's one, right up. There's a spring under our chicken house that they used to use to keep things cold, and not too far from that, there's another spring that flows. And they both flow into kind of a pond, and then they flow down the hill to another spring. So.
Yeah. But what else we had on the list? I wish I wouldn't have left that at the house.
Well, we still have fencing on the east side of our property.
Yes.
To build that pasture. That's something that's coming up as well.
We're trying to decide whether we, on the perimeter fencing, we're trying to decide whether we fix the barbed wire. Are we going to fix the barbed wire and redo it, or were you thinking electric?
I was thinking of running
electric?
high tensile.
High tensile.
It doesn't have to be electrified all the time.
Yeah.
Only when we have, animals in there. So, I've never been a big fan of barbed wire fence. We're moving the laptop.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it.
I've never been a big fan of barbed wire fence because it cuts the animals as they try to go through it. I'm gonna try and prop this thing up a little bit so we don't have to hold it. So we're holding the laptop on the dash.
Scars from barbed wire. So there. Oh, that's nice.
See?
We don't have to hold
now
it
we're hands free.
Oh, that's nice.
Jazz hands.
I was starting to cramp over here from holding the laptop.
Well, I was too. Like I said, barbed wire, I'm not a big fan. I don't like that it cuts the animals as they, if they get against it. If something's chasing them and they get up against it or in a corner, it scratches them. It doesn't always cause problems, but that's always, a chance that they can get cut and get an infection. I've not necessarily seen it, but I've heard of cows getting some pretty bad infection.
I don't think we ever had that problem.
You had a lot of trees around your fences,
we did
though,
have
too.
A lot of trees,
so they really couldn't get to the barbed wire.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, electric fence, I really like it because it's something. It's not gonna it's not gonna kill an animal. They're not necessarily gonna get caught by the barbed wire in it. There's nothing for them to get caught on because it's smooth.
It trains them.
And it's a train. The barbed wire, cows don't necessarily care if they poke themselves with barbed wire. I mean, you see them all the time with their head stretched through the fence and the barbed wire poking them. It doesn't necessarily, I don't think it hurts them. It's not a terrible pain to them.
If the grass is better on the other side, then they're not going to care.
Yeah, they don't seem to care to get hurt or get poked. But the electric fence, I mean, really, they touch it one time and it's a static charge. It's like touching your light socket, going across a carpet floor and touching your light socket. It's a very fast, quick charge, but
it pulses.
So I mean, it teaches them to not even go next to the fence. They won't touch it at all. So even if they're running towards it, they will they'll run, they'll get close and turn away. Barbed wire, I've seen a lot of cows just literally try to run through barbed wire.
Our calves, it took them about 5 days to get acclimated to the electric fence, and then now they don't even bother with it.
They'll eat underneath it. They'll get close to it, but they make sure they don't touch it. And they don't try to go through it.
And there's
either.
only right now we have 3 strands, and we're thinking about going down to. Are you going down to 1 or
we'll
2?
Do 2 for now.
2.
But this is our temporary, not our temporary fence, our movable fence for making paddocks. So, but I really like the idea of electric fence because it will keep. It's not necessarily about keeping the cows in, because if they have food, they're going to stay here anyway. They're safe. Yeah, but it's about keeping the other predators out.
These flies are terrible.
So we have mountain lions around here. There's been a panther sighted. We do have bears. We have coyotes. So when we have little calves on the ground, especially when we get sheep and have lambs, the electric fence.
And sheep are more prone to get out than cattle.
They are, but they're also more prone for predators too. So having that electric fence is more of a safety for them than it is to protect them. It's not to keep them. It helps to keep them in, but it also keeps the things out that will eat them. So
let's see. I know I was going to talk about what we've been cooking lately. We have a video coming up next.
There's a deer and her fawn right there.
Yeah. We have a video coming up next week about it's sort of a tribute to my dad, and we're going to share his banana ice cream recipe. And then what else have I been doing? I have been learning how to make Mexican food, and I'm really enjoying it, so much so that I planted my own jalapenos and my own tomatillos. I've been following this other channel on YouTube. It's called Simply Mama Cooks. And she makes all kinds of delicious Mexican recipes. I mean, she has a playlist of enchiladas that has to be 30 or 40 some recipes long. But her enchiladas suizas, if you make anything, make those. They're really, really delicious. So I've been kind of learning how to make some Mexican food. What else have we been cooking? We've grilled up some pork chops.
Chicken. I mean,
we're eating stuff out of the garden. Oh, what we're harvesting out of the garden right now. That's something we could talk about. Jacob's garden.
You've been making a lot of broccoli cauliflower salads, and we got lettuce.
And I'm going to actually share that recipe in an upcoming video too, because it's really delicious. It's broccoli, cauliflower, frozen peas, and then a sauce, and it's got some other stuff in it. So I'll share that. It's really refreshing for summer. I hope that questions are coming through because I'm not seeing any. I don't know. It kind of stopped with, I think they're working. Jacob's garden. So he went to the market. He's gone to the market, 3 weeks now?
Yep.
3 weeks he's been going to the market now. He is harvesting. He's been harvesting lettuce for a while, but he's also been harvesting broccoli and cauliflower. and beets, turnips, radishes, cabbage. And last week he went to one market and he sold out that first day. So he didn't get to go the second day. But that was a pretty big win for him. You have anything to say?
I think you covered it.
Oh, Linda asked, how many chickens do you have? Well, Linda, now since Chuck has been having a little bit of fun.
They have what, 17 altogether now?
So we moved. Well, we moved three of them, remember? So we actually have 20.
So I have 20 now.
But yeah, in the coop we have 17. But we have more because we have the chicks. How many chicks do we have?
Another 17.
Another 17. So we have 34 altogether now because our chicks, we graduated them to the coop this week. They're still separated from the rest of the chickens until they get bigger and can defend themselves, because chickens can be really brutal to each other. They like to pick on each other, and they like to pick on the weakest ones. So
yeah, we had to separate one of our roosters. We had a massive dominance fight. One of the sons of our first, or not our first rooster, but our oldest rooster, one of his sons actually fought him in a duel. They got pretty messed up. They took
a life Western.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's like, I'm sick of you, Dad. It's time you go down. But he literally beat up his dad and then took over the flock. But at that point, pretty much all the hens turn on that rooster.
Yeah.
So, when he got around them, they'd all start flogging him. So we had to, he has really good traits and traits that we wanted in our flock. So Jacob decided to build a mobile chicken coop, and we pulled a few hens out and put him in there with these hens to kind of start another flock. And he's been going to start collecting eggs from them and get them in a brooder to see if we can get some of, to build a little bit more hardy flock.
Some of Jim Bob's children.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can do there and kind of split the flock maybe a little bit too. Maybe later time bring in another rooster maybe that's not of the same bloodline.
Well, that's another thing we hope to do, is to have more chicken tractors like that we can move around behind our whatever animals we have, our cows or our sheep.
Yeah.
To fertilize the ground as well.
So
Coffee Pirate asked, do you have to feed free-range chickens grain?
No. You don't, actually.
We do feed them a little bit, though.
We do. It depends on what they have. They can survive perfectly well without any type of grain. So chickens generally don't necessarily always eat grain. They're more are carnivores than they are omnivores. They
don't eat near as much with free ranging either.
So I mean, they'll eat bugs. They'll eat other animals. They're kind of like mini velociraptors. So I've seen them get snakes, rabbits, each other. But yeah, it's quite it. Yeah, but yeah. Now, if you do pasture, there's a lot of, you can look into pasture raised poultry. Not pastry. Pasture. I'm thinking pastry.
Pastry? Ooh, pastry sounds good right
Pasture-raised poultry. There's a lot of people that raise pasture-raised poultry, and that's something that we're looking to get into to benefit our soil as we move our cattle or sheep around. The chickens will come in after that as part of the regenerative system, and they'll take the cow manure or the sheep manure and they'll break it apart. They'll eat the beetles and bugs out of the manure. And it's just kind of this cycle. They'll just spread it apart and help to fertilize the land where you don't even have to touch the grass. So it's pretty interesting what they do, as well as, eating grubs, and, they'll take on some of the non-beneficial insects like that.
You got sun in your eyes now?
Yeah, I got sun in my eyes now too.
It's your turn.
We just need to turn the truck.
So Linda asks, do you sell eggs at the market? Not yet, but we wouldn't mind doing that in the future if we got enough eggs. Right now, we pretty much eat all the eggs that we get.
There's some regulations around selling eggs at the market too in Missouri. Yeah. They're not difficult, but eggs have to be washed and cooled and things like that. You're not supposed to sell them without having them washed. And we wash our eggs before we eat them.
Right before.
But we'll leave them out, and we'll store them unless it's really hot. But we'll store, once it gets above 85 outside, then we'll start storing them in a cooler place. But we'll wash them right before. But we don't necessarily wash them to the standards that we don't use like bleach and stuff like that. There's the state requires you to use special cleaner, certain temperature of water when you wash them, things like that. And it's not something that, it's hard to, even free range eggs, until you really have a good market for it and a good customer base, it's really hard to really make money off of it.
Yeah. There is one other person at the Houston market where he goes that sells eggs, but she doesn't usually have too many.
So,
will you raise more chicks? Kelly says.
Of course.
Yes.
I've always wanted to actually sell hatching eggs. So, really breed really good, traits into a line of chickens, and then, be able to show pictures of these chickens and sell their eggs. You can make really good money off of that, as well as, I don't know that I want to get into selling chicks to people. I may like friends and family, neighbors, things like that. But I really would rather get into processing our own poultry and selling like, whole chickens to people that want them. So, and then, hatching eggs, if someone wants, a dozen eggs or, 4 dozen eggs.
I can see us definitely raising more chicks, especially if we do the chicken tractors, if we do multiple chicken tractors. Because if we do end up leasing land or buying more land, we'll grow our herd of whatever animals we decide to raise, or cows or sheep or both. And so we'll want multiple chicken tractors behind them. And what I mean by a chicken tractor is just a mobile coop, a mobile chicken coop where they can go out, they can get outside, but they also have a safe place to get in at night.
So, and once we get to building up production like that more, we will be selling eggs probably at market, maybe locally. We may even be able to get to sell some of them to a store. So, it's
I
a
could
possibility.
see us definitely selling locally to neighbors and people in the local area. Tiffany says, hi, Tiffany. Would you ever consider getting ducks? I have thought about ducks because I have heard from my sister that their eggs make really delicious pies.
I've thought about not getting ducks.
He's thought about not getting ducks. I saw this hilarious meme the other day. It's so me and you. He's like, well, it's kind of both ways because he likes to buy equipment and I like animals. So it was a pickup truck, and it was the husband said, you don't need the trailer. She's going to a sale. You don't need the trailer because you don't need to buy anything. And then she has the back of the pickup truck sitting in Sonic, and she's got a horse in the back of the pickup truck. She improvised.
But I mean, I might consider getting ducks. I mean, the right type of ducks. There are definitely benefits to them. There are some cons to them as well. But I wouldn't mind having some rabbits, raise some rabbits, and maybe even quail. There's a couple different things like that. But I mean, ducks can be really noisy.
Amy, this is you. I was like, the coffee pirate. I know that name. It's Amy. Runner ducks are awesome. So what are runner ducks? I don't know anything about ducks. So you need to tell me what runner ducks are.
They're ducks that make good table runners when you tan their hides. You can have this big feather dress.
Linda wants to know how big are your chicks that you hatched recently? They are, how many weeks old are they now?
I have no idea.
I've lost track of time. They have all their feathers. They're
probably a good 10, 12 inches tall now.
Yeah.
When they stand. I mean, you can't really tell on the camera, but I mean,
they're
as tall as my head.
They're still not big enough to defend themselves against the full-grown hens, but they're growing fast, really fast. Let's see. Are you baling your own hay?
Yes, we
Yes.
are. We square baled this year. We probably won't do a fall cutting. We'll probably wait till next spring. I'm going to try and get some more equipment. We had, like I said, we had cut roughly 2,300 bales so far, or baled 2,300 bales. And we ended up, we had some friends and some family came over and helped us before the rain came on Monday. The rain came Sunday.
Yeah. Well, they were
No,
helping us Sunday.
they were
Rain
helping us
came
Sunday.
Monday.
We had rain coming on Monday, but we were trying our hardest to get the hay out of the field because we had to pick it up by hand. Square bales are small. You got to throw them on a trailer unless you have the equipment to, put them in a hay wagon. We had a time frame to cut. I hadn't got my hay wagon fixed yet, so we just dropped them on the ground and come by with trailers and tractors and stuff to pick them up. And then we had to unload them into a barn, so we had to handle them twice. But yeah, we are doing our own. I really don't know of many people in this area that are actually doing square bales, so that makes it kind of hard to do. And it's more profitable for people to do square bales, but it's also time consuming. So, but we probably won't do it this fall, but we'll do it next spring again. And probably hopefully have some more equipment to make it a little easier with pickup, so we don't have to spend 3 days in the 95 to 100-degree weather throwing them on a trailer.
I see a slight delay in the comments. I think that's why there's a slight delay. But
so what do we?
Yeah, we had left on Sunday to take a load of bales to my mom and to make a Sonic run because we were all starving. And we came back, and our pastor from our little country church and his entire family are out in the field with their truck and trailer. They probably wouldn't want us to tell this, but they're out there picking up our bales, helping us out, and they helped us get the last 2 loads in. It was amazing. We were so thankful for that help. My brother-in-law helped us. Oh my goodness. I don't think we could have got it done without him. And
our nephew came over and helped us a little bit. Her mom come over and drove the trailer.
Dan had a friend that came over and helped too.
One of my good friends come up for a while and helped us.
Yeah, it was good all around. It was good. Linda says, in the future, have you thought about having a store on your farm? We have thought about it, like a vegetable stand. We have thought about that. We've talked about that with our neighbor.
We've thought about doing it. We're both very private people. Yeah. So I mean, we have people coming to get hay and things like that, and buy equipment when I have something for sale. But I don't. There's a lot of liability, insurance wise, that comes with it. So it's kind of.
We've thought about down by the garden building some kind of a produce stand where he could sell right from there, because I think he would have great success with just the local community. I've
almost thought about. I mean, it would be neat, like something, because it can be a little hard to get here.
Yeah,
especially when it rains, creeks come up. I mean, and a lot of cars won't make it down here when it's muddy. So, I mean, it wouldn't be bad to have, maybe buy, a small piece of land somewhere along a major road and just put up a small building. Jacob could sell out of that. We could store, have a freezer there.
Yeah.
Walk-in cooler or something that people could, they could come and pick stuff up.
We are kind of building out a blueberry patch, and we're thinking about strawberries too, but we would probably, he might sell a few at the market, but I had the mindset of planting enough that we would have enough, and then my family, my extended family, if they wanted to come pick, and close neighbor friends that if they wanted to come pick. That's kind of the mindset that I have in building that part out. So I don't know. The orchard, I think we're going to have more produce than we can, if it keeps growing. if it does well, I think we're going to have more than we can ever even think about handling. That's one thing we are thinking about doing that goes kind of along with that is we are kind of already starting to plan building a root cellar in the next 6 months to a year. So we'll see. We're trying to decide where to put it right now, but we're in discussions about that because we desperately need a place to put, not only for Jacob to have some cool storage of his produce, but also for us, we have nowhere to put stuff that we can right now. So, and I want to do a lot more canning, but
it'll be a root cellar with Wi-Fi though, so we can work in it.
Wi-Fi.
Nice and cool. But Adrian says duck eggs are making great ice cream.
Oh, I bet they do. I bet that, yeah. My sister said that they were, they made a really good pastry, like a pie crust, because they're very rich. Oh, I bet they would make good ice cream.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would be okay messing with some ducks. I might have
to buy some duck eggs just to try it.
I would be okay messing with some ducks.
Are they going to be stinky, though? Stinkier than chickens? That's the one thing I was kind of... Because I know up around... I just remember when I worked at the hospital, they had this big walking pond where you could walk around it. And there were always ducks and geese, and they were so stinky. I just remember that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the geese will just obliterate an area if they sit there for too long.
So I don't know.
They can be really nasty.
I could see us maybe getting a couple ducks, though. Maybe. It might be kind of fun.
I mean, ducks, a lot, I think ducks stay in the water more than land, but they, they'll still, they'll eat grass and things like that and bugs and things,
Well, I think we're about to wrap it up, but what are some things that you guys would like to see from us in the near future? Leave us a comment. Let us know. We've got some things in the works that we're working on. We'll have a video coming out every week. Next week, like I said, it's going to be a little bit about my dad, a little bit about hay season and his banana ice cream recipe, which is the best ice cream on the face of the earth. It really is. My boys will tell you that too. It's just the best.
My mom showed up late.
Are you early or am I late? You're late. This has been fun.
That has been fun. I kind of like this. I like
it.
I like the YouTube platform.
And there's no editing involved.
I like this better than Facebook, actually.
Oh, yeah, I do too. Yeah.
I've got another question there.
Do you have any... Oh, I'll put that on the screen. Do you have any canning videos? I just did strawberry preserves, but it was more freezer jam. I have apple butter. We canned apple butter last year. I'm working on that. I want to do some canning videos this year. I'd like to can some tomatoes. I'd like to do some pickles. And I want to make some more jams. I'm wanting to make blackberry jam. If I can find some blackberries to pick, which I know there's bushes on the farm. I just have to find them. And on back roads too. You can often find them alongside the back roads. But I will have more canning videos, more than what I have right now.
Well, once we get the air conditioner put in, we'll have more canning videos, or this fall when it cools off. So we still... We got a, we have a outdoor wood boiler that we heat with, and we use it for hot water, as well as we have a gas furnace that I put in as backup. But our hot water lines for the furnace run halfway through the house.
Yeah.
And
it's hot too.
I remember as a kid, my high school, our pool was at one end and the boiler system was at the other end, and the hot water lines ran through it. And it was always the classrooms that the water lines ran through above was always 100 degrees every day during the summer in school. We didn't have air conditioning in school either at that time. But it's the same way here, these hot water lines are heating up. So I'm working this week at putting in an outdoor instant hot water heater for the summer months, so we can shut the furnace down, because we're still heating water with wood right now.
And we have to turn the hot water off every night if we want to survive in that. in the house.
So it'll heat the house up 10 degrees more. And we've been into the mid to high 90s outside, which means we're the mid to high 90s inside. But I got to get the water heater put in first so that I can turn the furnace off. And then I can install the air conditioning coil on top of the furnace. But our water comes in at like 200 degrees, so I don't want to handle the top of the furnace where that air to water to air exchanger is. So because of that heat. So once it's off, I can, hopefully this weekend we might have some air conditioning, but we've all came to the point that we don't want to have the air conditioning low. I think we may set it around 80.
I'm hesitant to I mean, I want an air conditioner. I've been so hot.
It might be nice for sleeping at night.
I don't know. I think we've all come to the conclusion that it's easier. Like, there's no way we could have survived the last week in the hayfield, putting the hay bales in, if we had been used to the air conditioner. We were used to being hot. And I think that really played in our favor with being out here because none of us got sick.
Yeah, I really had no problem coming out in the heat.
We were all staying hydrated. So we've all come to that it's easier on our bodies not having the air conditioner.
Yeah. But
so I don't know.
To the canning videos, I really would like to do some canning videos.
Yeah,
just some maybe not a whole live video, but at least maybe we can do some pre-recorded videos of canning, because I would like to do something with canning some meats and canning chickens, because we're gonna have lots of chicken to can. We're gonna have beef to can.
Yeah. I definitely want to can some chicken.
And since we live, because of where we live out in, we're not terribly far from the countryside, but we still have really good, we have tornadoes come through. We have lots of lightning. So, the reality of having no power at times is pretty big. So, canning our food helps us to preserve it a lot better over having, stuff in the freezer, because we lose power for, hours. We don't want to open a freezer, but, we have generator as well, but, if we don't have to, we don't want to run it unless we have to, but canning stuff allows us to keep it in the cold, it preserves it better and it preserves it longer as well. So it's a little safer. We don't have to worry about it if it gets too hot. It's not going to get too hot in a root cellar.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would love to do some things like that.
I would too, for sure.
But once we can turn the air conditioner on and cool it down.
I know you would like pickled beets too and things like that.
Yeah.
Because you guys like those.
Yeah, I've been wanting to make some of those.
I don't like them. Ugh.
But the darn dog had to go and mess with our egg production.
Yeah, he has scared the chickens so bad. We've got to work on him. We're working on him.
So when they get spooked, anything spooks them, a leaf falls, they'll stop laying eggs for a little bit. So we had an overabundance in eggs for a couple days and then no eggs. We had some other. Do we have any other questions?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna wrap it up, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed this. I don't know about you.
I've enjoyed it.
It's been a lot of fun, and I think we're gonna do this every so often. Just go live and chat and talk. We might even go live cooking one night. Who knows? I know I've had some comments saying people miss that, so we may go live cooking too. Maybe even canning. Who knows? But we'll try to get somewhere other than our truck next time.
This actually hasn't been too bad.
It hasn't been too bad, but we had good intentions of giving you the beautiful view of the countryside behind us up in the hayfield. But we will see you guys next time. Next week we'll have another video, like I said, with the recipe and some more on the farm. And I guess we'll see you guys later.
This video is recorded now. Yes. So it will show up on YouTube.
It will show up on YouTube.
So if you did come in late, you can go back and watch it again and see the beginning.
Yeah. So. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks you guys for all the questions and thanks for chatting with us. We'll see you guys next time.